And here, let's dive in. So we are addressing today how to use the past perfect. Now, the past perfect, like the present perfect, is something that we find that is useful in talking about events. All right. Now, the past perfect is not necessarily only experience. It's more about sequence. Well, let's put it in terms of the sequence of what you have been doing in your course. Now, if you look at your units on your portal, you will notice that in the units that you've been doing from this new section of the course, we're now going to be over here. All right. Now, before I dive into the actual adverbial and third conditional, as the course is titled, first, we're going to take a look at the past perfect form. Now, we're going to be using this as we review both pieces, Unit 1 and Unit 2, in your exam. Don't forget, if you don't remember when one of the dates are, one of your deadlines are, you can double check what's coming next and when you need to turn in your items. All right, so let me just load up this email and just load up our Excel that we have been using. All right, in terms of dates, this is us. All right, so we're going to be tackling the past perfect. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to do past perfect and the irregular form of verbs because they go together. All right, I'll also share with you some ed endings that are tricky so you can practice. I believe I shared it before, but it doesn't hurt looking at it again. All right, and then on the third, we look at third conditional. And to wrap up this unit and prepare for the exam to review both first and second units, we'll look at adverbial phrases. All right, so that's our plan. Or we might just take a break next week and then fit both of those in the other week. Let's see how you guys are performing. All right, so past perfect. Now the past perfect form is pretty straightforward. We're going to be using our verb had, which is the past form of have, which helps us with creating the perfect, with the past participle forms. So we're going to be addressing something from the past that sequences into another one. It's kind of like the building blocks of a story. Now let me double check that everyone is in, no one is in the waiting room. All right, so let's switch over. Let's do a little bit of reviewing of the use. And let's look at some of the verbs that might be a little bit tricky for you to remember. All right, now in terms of structure, this is pretty straightforward. If we have to talk about anything from the past perfect, just like all the other perfect forms, we'll use have. Have in the past form and the participle. Now, affirmative form, had plus the participle. Negative form, had not or hadn't plus the participle. And question form, we can either start with a question word or more commonly had, then our subject line, then our participle form. So let's dive in. Saul, I believe you were one of the first ones to try to connect today. Let's look at one of the uses of past perfect. Read for us.
We use the past perfect to refer to an event that began in the past and before another action or event in the past. The action of event that happened first is in the past perfect, and the one that followed in the past simple.
Good. All right, examples. Continue, Saul. Examples.
Example, I had read the books before and saw the movie. Donna had just left when you kayed. Had you ever thrown before the truth to friends?
Right? Called. Be careful with your pronunciation. Right? Now, when we look at these sentences, we notice something in common. All of them have the had. For the contracted form, you notice I had is contracted I'd. Question form, had comes first, and all of them will have their participle form of their action verb. So read, left, flown. All of these are the participle forms of their verbs. Notice also that they are the precursors of another action. So if you think of a timeline, you have the present, you have the past simple before. Before this past simple would be a past perfect action. This leads to this, leads to now, right? So you can think of it like that. And usually the past perfect sentence will also show you what it connects to. Past simple action. You see here, I saw a movie, you called before the trip to France, right? All of these will have some simple past action as well, right? Number 2, let's go with Diego.
Yes, the past perfect is used for action or events has happened before a specific time in the past. Mm, Leo los ejemplos.
Yes,
I had reason woken up when the alarm clock rang at 7 a.m. He hadn't been to France before the trip in ¿cómo se dice 2008?
you forgot already. All right, I'll share the dates with you guys again as well. All right, 2008 or 2008.
2008.
Good. All right. So we know that there's going to be a simple past action. We know that it connects to another thing in the past. But also notice we can really be specific when we talk about the past perfect and the past simple. Had he woken up specifically around this time, specifically in this year, right? So we can use the past perfect to show the sequence of events. And for those who haven't written their full names and groups in the chat yet, don't forget to add that detail and continue with our attendance. Number 3, let's go on to, let's go with Yaira. Push you up in the list today. Number 3.
Um, As with the present perfect, we also use the past perfect simple for situations that began in the past and the continuous to the specific point in the text in the past. As we can use the continuous tense with certain verbs. For example, she had only owned one car before. She bought her new BMW,
Yeah, BMW.
and I've been depressed for a long time before I changed job.
Right. So we know that some verbs are stative, emotive, communicative, possessive, and they don't express a continuous form. So for these verbs, we have to be very, very clear with our use of the present perfect, and in this case, the past perfect. Now we have two past events that we're connecting. One, she has a BMW now that she bought in the past. Before that, she had only ever owned, and own is a verb that doesn't have a continuous form, one car. So past perfect, past simple. And here we also see the expression about being depressed, the state of a person. All right. Now this person had been depressed, which is almost like an expression of how they feel, and we know that for feeling, emotive verbs, we don't have a continuous form either. Recently, they changed jobs. Past simple. Before then, they had been depressed. So notice how we have the past perfect connect with the past simple. All right. Now, we're going to jump into some activities. But before we go into activities, let me just jump over here. When it comes to English, we know very well that a lot of our verbs are irregular. Now I'm going to share this one, and I'm going to share another list. I think I'm going to give you two lists of very irregular verbs in English, because the past perfect and the present perfect require that you use past participles. So it's very important that you practice them, that you get to know them, and that when you are speaking and when you're writing, you choose the right ones. Okay? Now, this one here says difficult. So if you want to see the really tough ones, that's the one to go to. But I recommend reviewing all of them so you get comfortable with this particular form. I'll also send you another two links for you to practice the past perfect a little bit deeper so that you feel comfortable with it as well. All right, now let's dive into some Q&A. I think we are about 15. I might add some more exercises so at least you get one opportunity to participate. All right, now let's start off with you again, Saul. Let's start there at number 1. Remember, we're using the past perfect form.
Sería had had 18.
All right, look at the context of your sentence. What's
Sí,
your past simple? Your past simple said, we were very hungry.
sí.
Entonces,
We had eaten anything all day, so we were very hungry.
si han comido, no van a estar con mucha hambre. Si no han comido, entonces sí. Entonces aquí vamos viendo el contexto. El pasado perfecto te va pintando algo que conecta con la última cosa que hiciste. Entonces aquí vemos, no han comido, entonces estaban con mucha hambre. All right, so notice the context in your sentence as well. Si comiste, pues no vas a tener. Pero si no has comido, sí vas a tener mucha hambre. So it's going to be the negative form. We hadn't eaten anything all day, so we were very hungry. Repeat.
We haven't not eaten anything all day, so we're very hungry.
Right. Diego, number 2.
Yo de nuevo, teacher.
Yes, number 2, Diego. Rivas.
They hadn't studied a lot the days before, so they were ready for the exam.
Which one? Hadn't or had?
Had.
Had. Porque ya están listos. Significa que han estudiado. All right? Good. Back to you, Yaira, number 3.
Had you go to that restaurant before?
Okay. What do we need for our verbs?
When is a question, is the verb is in simple form?
Okay, be careful. When it's in question form, our structure tells us we will use participle. So we'll have a question word or had, depending on our question. So had you, past participle. Same thing here. Had you, what's the past participle best suited for this sentence?
When?
Been. Went is past simple. Go is present simple. The past perfect form, if we use go, would be gone.
Yeah, sorry.
I know, it's so early. Let's do that again. Had you been to that restaurant before?
Had you been to that restaurant before?
Good. All right, let's continue with Allison.
We have never seen a volcano before or tree.
Good. Now, why didn't I use a negative form? Because never is already negative. Good job, Allison. All right, let's go with you, Dana. Number 5. Pamela.
She had cleaned it. No, she has cleaned it.
Tell me which one. She had or she has?
She has.
No. Has
No?
is for present perfect. Had
She
is
had.
for past perfect. All right, again.
She had cleaned
Continue.
up the kitchen by the time we arrived.
Good. All right. Let's continue. Now, I'll show you the verbs in brackets, guys, and now try to create the structure. Remember, you need your had, hadn't for your past perfect. Fernanda.
I have been at home all day. I had to get out and go for a walk.
Good job. Paula.
She had teached Shakespeare before.
All right. This is an irregular verb. She had taught.
Okay. She had taught Shakespeare before.
All right. Let's go to a question form now. Alondra.
Sería have you ate?
Mhm.
Have you eaten breakfast when you left the house?
Yes, I had. Good job. All right, let's go to Josue, number 4.
Hi. Um, we hadn't finished the document when the computer crashed.
Imagine that, working on your thesis and the computer crashed and you hadn't saved it. No, what a catastrophe. All right, let's keep it going. Isabel, number 5.
We had never seen a whale before our trip.
Exactly. Gran ballena. Qué curioso. All right, we had never seen a whale before our trip. All right, after Isabel is Mario. Mario, number 6.
She had prepared dinner before leaving for work that day.
Had prepared dinner. Yes, indeed. Number 7, Alma.
I had hadn't, perdón, es que estoy enferma. I hadn't, eh, the, I hadn't
Done. Also irregular.
done my homework when I went to class.
All right.
I hadn't done all my homework when I went to class. Ahora sí, ya, perdón.
Good, good. No worries. Right. I believe the next person would be Sophia.
Have you met her before?
Had you met is the past participle of meet. Met her before. Repeat.
Repito,
Yes, Sophia.
have you met her before?
Good. Right. And since we have Zawood, I'm going to open up some more exercises and we can jump over here. Should I do it from this one or should I do it from another one? I'm going to do it from, let me do one so you can see a timeline. An English page usually has nice timelines. Right? So when we think of the past simple and before we have the past perfect. Right? That's what it looks like. Now let's do dun, 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 dun. Well, this should be a good one that gives you a good mix. Right? Now only one Zaud, and I'll send you guys this one so you can practice it. I can't, I'm gonna read the first one, and then you will fit in the answers with me, all right? So in the beginning, you're seeing past simple. I can't believe I got or had got. What do you think, Zaud?
Me, right?
Yes.
Or Saul.
You, Zaud.
I got.
All right. Now some of them, let me just show you. I had got that one. All right. had submitted would have been the event before you got the apartment, right? So that's one of the things you're going to be looking out for, guys. What was the past simple event and what happened before that event? All right, even though we won't be doing a forum, that's one of the things you will see as you practice here in this unit. All right, that's where I'll leave it for today. I'll send you some links and a video later on. If you have any questions, don't be shy, reach out and let me know what you need. And until next Saturday, do stay safe and reach out to me via messages or emails if you need anything.